Hello everybody, this is a very large object, and I am going to give you a review of the GPD Win 3. Now, this, in my opinion, is GPD's best device in terms of its ergonomics and form factor. Currently I have the case on here, but let me actually take this off for the sake of showing you the actual dimensions. So here we go. So here is the device. Now it looks pretty sleek. This is, in my opinion, the best looking out of all of the handheld PCs currently on the market or going to be on the market. The Steam Deck is not going to look nearly as good as this will. So it does have a 1165 G7, a 16 gigabytes of DDR4X memory. So it's low power, but it's the more high-end variant of that. It has a 1 terabyte SSD in it, and it has a 5.5 inch 720p display. So this is 16 by 9. So unlike the Steam Deck or the Aya Neo or the GPD Win 2 Max, it is a normal aspect ratio. Now, that does depend on what games you're playing. Sometimes that is a benefit. Sometimes it might be a little bit of a hindrance. Some games expect at least 1080p or a little bit higher resolution than 720p. So I'm going to show you a couple games here, and I'm going to try to edit this down a little bit from my previous videos. So I'm going to start off by launching Fallout 76, as I know this one launches fairly quickly. I don't really need to worry too much. So here is Fallout 76. So I can go ahead and increase the volume here. Now the Win 3 is louder than the Aya Neo. So this device is a little bit quieter than the Win 3. Looks like it's not letting me online. Jesus. Hold up. Just trying to make that a little bit more comfortable to hold. Be a shame if it was currently under maintenance. So the screen is a little bit it's pretty crisp to me. However, because of the size of the display and the resolution it's running at, 720p actually looks quite a bit sharper. Actually, reduce the volume here. 720p actually looks sharper than the 800p that's on the Aya Neo, and I would assume the Steam Deck when that comes out. Let me show you this here. And before I start this game entirely here, I'm going to go over the controls real quick. It has a Vita-style D-pad and Vita-style face buttons here. However, it has more of a Wii U style analog layout. So the analog sticks are up top here. This is great for first-person shooters. such as Fallout 76. So the sticks actually have a lot of throw to them. A lot more throw than, say, the Aya Neo here, where the sticks don't have hardly, like, that's all the way, like right there, as opposed to here, it has a lot more to go. So that being said, let me actually not have an issue here and fall off the cliff. But yeah, so this game's currently running at, it would run between 40 and 60 FPS. 60 FPS usually indoors. The bumpers on the back of this device, they're pretty nice. The triggers are pretty responsive as well. There's a good level of throw to them. The rumble in this system is, I would say, about on par with the Aya Neo here. I'm going to move the Aya Neo out of the way. But one good major blatant thing here that you're probably looking at right now is the keyboard. Now, my unit is kind of weird and finicky, where the keyboard doesn't immediately pop up, like immediately like start working. Ooh, all right, it's a little weird. Looks like it's just a little bit of lag there. Doesn't help that the current. Let me actually do this. And let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so it doesn't really help that it's nighttime in this game here. That's okay. So the sticks do click in, so they are fairly responsive as well that way. The keyboard doesn't immediately pop up for me, like in this instance, it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing here. So, and if your unit works perfectly, unlike mine, it's a great thing to have, because say you run into an issue where the game's not in full screen mode, you can go ahead and do Alt Enter, and that will bring it back to full screen there. Also, having Control Alt Delete being there as well is kind of helpful. However, Control Alt Delete, you kind of have to use 4 fingers for that, given how the function buttons work. So, that being said, overall, like, it feels pretty good. One common complaint that you're going to see with this unit is the analog stick caps are a little loose. And there's no real way of fixing that other than, like, gluing them to the stick, and I don't know how I feel about actually doing that. I will be honest. So, there's that. And the game runs pretty well. And it's pretty stable. So let's go ahead. Let's hit start here, menu, and let's hit quit. Quit to desktop. That's where somebody was going to be dropping a nuke there. Alright, so one major thing with the GPD Win 3 is the toggle here for mouse. It uses this stick here to move the mouse around, and it uses L1 and R1 for the mouse buttons. So, and it uses the D-pad for scrolling, which is really handy here. Let me show you the next game that I'm going to be taking a look at. And that is God of War. Now, I have not tried launching this game on Intel, because the only way to really get this game, get this system, is with an Intel chip in it. There is no AMD variant. If there was one, I would have no qualms with the system, and I honestly, I probably wouldn't get the Steam Deck. Gonna be pretty honest with you. Okay. PlayStation Studio. And it just gives us a little frame rate counter up here. Of course, it's going to continue to try to focus on me. Hello. Let's see. Santa Monica Studio. Oh, it's looking a little blurry. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the light real quick. Alright, there we go. So less blur there. Now, it is running at 3 frames per second. 36 frames per second. Okay, so let me go ahead and... Okay, there we go. So let's go to settings. Let's go to graphics, and we're going to keep it on low for right now. And let's go ahead and continue. So as you can tell, it's kind of low res, but we'll see what our frame rate is and see if we can bump up some settings. I didn't show off this game on the Ion Neo because it was not out at the time that I was reviewing this system. Okay. So right now it's at 28 FPS. So this might be as good as it's gonna look, which is unfortunate. Let's go ahead and let's go over to this, and let's see, is there options, settings. Let's see if we can change this. Let's change it to original. Let's go to display. And the render resolution is already set. And the... oh boy. Okay, and it's already set to Fidelity FX as well. Alright, that doesn't bode very well there. But we'll go ahead and leave this. So the game is running at around 30 FPS still. I will tell you, it's
I like her. I mean, she lives under a turtle.
That's not looking too great here, that texture.
She hasn't tried to kill us.
I highly doubt that's native, like the original option. So let's actually go to display, and let's try to turn off Fidelity FX. Let's go back. My cat is coming up to say hello. Wow, yeah, that made zero difference there, but it actually did hurt the performance. So now it's sitting around 25 FPS, which, in my opinion, is not too terribly great. Ooh. I don't think you're supposed to be seeing through that. That doesn't look quite right. Alright, so we might have to say this isn't too terribly, good there. I don't know how it's shown on camera here, but you can see that's not quite right at all. So, alright, so I might have to say that be it for that. I tried to make it look as good as possible. But options, let's go ahead and quit to the main menu. I might have to just finish this game on my desktop or stream it from my desktop there. Okay. And let's go ahead and quit it if it would let us. Oh shit. No, okay. So it looks like the menu actually kind of broke, so that's always fun. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and run Task Manager here. And let's go ahead and close the game out and the task. Okay. So God of War, clearly not working to our benefit here. So let's go ahead and let's try NASCAR Heat 5. I know no one is ever going to be looking to see this if this game plays, given that the collective actual audience for NASCAR isn't very high currently, but I don't know. I like driving cars around circles a couple times, you know? Call it a quirk. Okay. Alrighty. Do swear it is loading. There it is. Alright, I think it's going to run into that issue there where it's not going to save what the resolution is. Yep. So as you can see, it's running in a very tiny window. It's running in full screen, but...
Cold metal with hot rubber at the corners. A cherry, a thundering...
it didn't even save my game.
The difference between you and your rivals isn't just the warpaint traded in battle. It's more. Refuse to lose.
Alright, so there's that. So, because it didn't save my settings. Oh, good. Country music that I'm going to get demonetized for. I don't want to do that. Okay. Let me guess. It's going to run me into the menu. Oh, boy. Options? Nope. And then let's see here. I'm having just as much issue. And then back. There we go. Finally. Cool. Alright. Don't know why that didn't work. It seems to reset itself. Let me just try to show you a race here. How it performs. Now, I always aim for 60 FPS. So we'll see. It's the whole hot seat offer thing. Where you try to get a hot seat. And then, where's now? Sorry about trying to adjust the display brightness here. Alright, so let's give this a shot. Practice. And then okay. This is Texas. And it's running solid 60 FPS. So far, so good. A little bit too sideways there. That's okay. Ooh. Don't want to wreck in practice. So far, there we go. Random people from Atlanta, Georgia. They must have figured out I'm playing NASCAR here. And we're gonna pretend. We're gonna say we qualified well enough in our practice. So let's try an actual qualifying lap here. Okay. And then all right. Okay, and then let's see. Yeah, jeez, I didn't do so well here. I haven't played these types of games in a while, so. Yeah, not doing so hot here. Why is my car so stiff? It's weird. Maybe it's the way she set it up. Oh, shit. Wow, alright. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna exit the race. I'm gonna quit. Alright, that's about enough of that. I would like to play the audio, but I don't want the country music's copyright police to come in. Okay. Exit, and then quit. Okay, so there's that. That game runs solid 60 FPS. So let's try The Witcher 3. Those first time setups always get you. I'm gonna start running there. Okay, that's interesting. So it is running in windowed mode. Let me fix that by hitting Alt Enter. At least I thought I was going to. Alt Enter. Alright, I guess that's not going to happen right now. Alright, we're going to head and skip. And let's go to Options, Video. And let's go ahead and borderless window full screen. And these are the settings that it's running. Let me click on this so it's hopefully in view there. So everything's pretty much set to medium except for background character limit and all that. So foliage visibility range is low. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go back. And we're going to hit OK. The hood looks a little bit gross in this here. I don't know why it's playing the whole story again. Especially when... Okay, there we go. Alright. So right now I'm running at 44, 46 FPS. Let's see if we can increase some of the settings here. Because right now it looks pretty good. Let's see if we can improve a couple of settings here. And then... Can I not? Options. Video. Post-processing. Motion blur, off. Blur, off. AA is turned on. So. Sharpening, ambient occlusion, depth of field, vignettes, that, back, graphics. VSync is set. Let's try high settings here. We're going to push this a little hard here and see how this actually gets along here. Resume. All right, so looks like it dropped to 30 and then jumped right back up. This is looking pretty good. Let me actually try to adjust the camera here so you can see. Looking pretty good here. Pretty solid. Yeah, around a 50 FPS experience with minor dips. I bet if I locked this to 30, it would probably look perfectly fine. Looks like it is choking a little bit, so let me... Alright. But yeah, we're not here to play the story here, so... That's a little bit of this game here. Cinematics run as you would expect them to. And we're gonna go ahead and quit the game. Okay, so there's that. Witcher 3 is out of the way and done. Let's go to Epic. I was going to try to run Red Dead Redemption 2, but it should run about equivalent to how The Witcher 3 played, at least in terms of how I've seen it. So around medium settings here. So it's going to launch. Horizon Zero Dawn. Let's see if it's actually going to launch it. There we go. Systems not match the minimum. That's fine. Who gives a shit? I've not actually played this on the system here. Subtitles on. And we can go ahead and we'll run the benchmark. Because that's what I did on the INU. Ooh, game has crashed. No. Alright. that's kind of the luck of the draw with the Intel stuff is games sometimes just don't work. Flat out, don't work. Looks like that's one of them. Haven't played it on this system yet, so probably good reason. Alright, let's launch the Outer Worlds. Alright, cloud syncing. I don't know why I didn't cloud sync for Horizon, though. Weird. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. Okay. Alright. I'm trying to keep it in focus here. Okay. I have played this on the GPD Win 3 before, so we'll see how it plays here. As I expected it to. I don't see a FPS counter here, but it looks like it's at least running at 30 with some jitter going on here. Ooh, yeah. Some rather extreme jitter, it looks like.
Want to be a brand new view? Try out our re-specification machine.
No, I think I'm
Alex
okay.
installed it himself, right before he died.
Oh, good. Okay. And let's see how... the docking facility... Let's see if I can go to just a regular planet. No? Am I at the end of the game? Shit. I think so. Let me load... Let me load some gameplay this way. Alright. This is near the end of the game, I'm sorry.
Alright, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, fight!
It seems to be running pretty well. Until I die. Alright. Let's actually load a different save here. Let's go near the beginning. Nice thing about these types of RPGs. I am quite a fan of the Outer Worlds. I'm looking forward to the next game. Let's see here. Alright. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Okay. We killed there. Okay. This one's pretty well, I will be honest. Okay. Ooh, but yeah. Running pretty solid and smooth there. So it looks like this one is a success. Let's quit. So that one is a success. Let's take a look at Tony Hawk. This will be the last game that we're going to test here. And then I'll come around to the final thoughts. Okay. It's cloud syncing again. Alright. Make sure that you have internet connection before you log into Epic. What? But I am. Close Windows. Alright, weird. Maybe I have to relaunch Epic. That's great. Try this again. Could have sworn that everything was running fine. Running, okay. I had one time where I had 3 instances of the game running, and I was like, why is it so slow? Alright, let's see if this actually launches. Excuse me? Alright, one moment. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to actually work, which is a shame. But that leaves me on the final thoughts. So if my device was perfect, and if I did this and opened it back up, of course it's going to do this to me, isn't it? So let me try this one more time. Keyboard's on, right? Alright, so my device is broken, but it's working on camera, which is always how this works, isn't it? If it works flawlessly 100% of the time, this device would be great. And I think if all the games started working correctly, such as God of War didn't have textures that look like it came from a PS2 game, or say, for instance, some games that I didn't even test here, Halo Infinite, if that actually loaded and didn't crash the second you tried to search for a match, or, for instance, Monster Hunter World, if that actually worked, Monster Hunter World, if that actually worked, that would also be great. But the final overall verdict and thoughts here is that this device is actually pretty sleek. I can actually compare it here now to the Ionia, a Steam controller. Okay, and let me show you. About as, it's almost as wide, and then a Xbox Series X controller. So the screen's about as wide as, say, like the bottom of this is. So that might give you a little bit of an idea of how big the screen would be. But But yeah, this device, if you're holding it like this, weirdly enough, I feel like it's more compact when I hold it like this. But yeah. So it has dual bottom speakers here, a Thunderbolt 4 port, a USB 4, sorry. Start, select. A little Xbox button. Brings up the Xbox stuff. An micro SD card slot, which I think the Aya Neo could benefit from. A USB-A port, which I find really handy. A headphone jack, which seems to be a dying breed. Volume up and down, and a power. It has some pretty powerful cooling, I will be honest. This thing doesn't feel like it's too hot when I'm holding it and playing it. But that's the general verdict there. The D-pad is wonderful. I would go as far to say I like this D-pad more than I like the Aya Neo one. And it reminds me more like the Xbox one than the Aya Neo one, which feels a little bit mushy. Now, this switch here, I think, is going to be really crucial to devices going forward from GPD. Let me actually turn this device off. I don't think we're done testing games for right now. Is this switch on the side is going to be really great, especially when you need that mouse back there. When a game's like not responding or doing what you expect it to do. Such as that Tony Hawk game, I would have to go into Task Manager, which on the Aya Neo, I'd hit the button, but not having an actual mouse cursor kinda is prohibitive. The Steam controller, which the Steam Deck, so the Steam Deck will have 2 analog sticks, 2 touch things, and buttons that you would expect it to have. The Steam Deck will have a touchpad here, which I think that's what the mouse is going to be using when you're in the operating system. So that should be pretty helpful there, where it might not actually need a slider for it. But that is my general thoughts on this device. I think, honestly, if you don't play Halo, Monster Hunter, God of War, or Horizon Zero Dawn, or any of those PlayStation games, and you mainly play like Call of Duty, stuff like that, or I believe like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption works really well on this device. Witcher plays great on this device. I would say a little bit better than this does, interestingly enough. And I do like the keyboard as an option there, because there's going to be a lot of games that are going to ask you to put in your name, for example. And such games like would be Fallout or whatever, where you're going to actually need some key inputs, where this button here on the newest Aya Space, you pull up the Aya Space there, and then you pull up Aya Space, and then you have to press the keyboard option, but sometimes that takes the game out of focus, and you can't actually have the keyboard up while you have the game up, which, even though the keyboard is supposed to be an overlay over the game and should be able to go over full screen applications, it's still a bit of a pain in the butt. Would I say this is a better device than the GPD Win? All things considered, yes, I would. I would still consider the Aya Neo the best current handheld PC. We'll see when the Steam Deck comes out. I should have one, Q2, or whatever that means to Valve, to review. And I do have an Odin that hopefully will come in before then. If not, I guess I I guess I just should sit in a corner and cry. But going forward, I'm going to be looking at and taking a look at the Steam controller with modern games and see if I can actually play them and enjoy them with this controller. And I'm going to be going from first-person shooters to racing games and all that, and see if I can actually get a good use out of this controller. Right now, finding this controller is actually kind of hard. On eBay, they go for way more than they're worth. This controller, when it came out, was $50, I think. Valve eventually, to get rid of them, I think sold them for like $25 or something like that. But the analog stick, nice, fantastic. Buttons, placement, weird, strange. Stranger than this. Interestingly enough, this button placement, because the buttons are not that far away from the analog stick, it's not really much of an issue. Here, because you have this pad here, it's rather large, and reaching in towards the X button to reload, you're actually probably going to want to rebind one of these for a reload instead, which is very strange indeed. But that's this is for a video, later video. And do please suggest in the comments below what games you'd like me to test with it. And I'll see you guys on my next video. And I really do appreciate the 55 subscribers or so, I think, at the time of me making this video. It might be more. We'll see. But again, thank you all for your interactions, and I really do look forward to every video that I release and see how everybody likes it. Peace out, and see you guys later.